My family lived for 15 years in a castle built more than a century ago by an eccentric man who wanted his Rhine-born wife to feel at home when he brought her to live in California. It was a monstrous rock construction 200 feet above San Francisco Bay, surrounded by cypress trees, 2 stories of rock with a trapdoor underneath the kitchen table, and 2 caves in the back of the house, one of which was said to have led to the beach during bootlegging days. The walls were 1.5 feet thick, fashioned of railroad ties and rock and plaster, and the doors were only 5 feet 9 inches tall, many inches taller than the builder or his wife. At my parents' frequent dinner parties, almost every man in our circle of friends cracked his forehead on the top of the doorway at least once. I vividly remember a man hitting his head twice and then removing his prosthetic arm, which he was unable to put back on. My mother was born in Liverpool a few years after my father, the son of Presbyterian missionaries, was born in Tokyo. They met and married back east 30 years ago, moved to the San Francisco Bay Area, had 3 children and a lot of friends, and my mother loved the 3 of us more than she loved herself, a beautiful and dangerous predicament. Their sons were dark-haired and handsome, whereas I did not look quite human until I grew hair at 2 years old, and even then more closely resembled an albino rhesus monkey with an afro. I was sort of comically cute, and was teased about my hair by older kids until my early teens. Everyone in the family adored Randy from the minute he was born, 17 years ago. Even Ben, who was 25 and hated our parents and me until 5 years ago when he got off serious drugs. My mother and I finally get along, and my father and Ben finally get along, and Randy still gets along excellently with all of us, although I am the person he talks to most intimately, since I am the person he considers most deranged and weirdest in the family, except for himself. All of us are better friends with one another since the recent diagnosis of my father's brain tumor, which is one of the possibilities of crisis. Another is the constant juxtaposition of forgotten memories and a heightened ability to concentrate on the present. Another is insomnia so intense that by 3 a.m. you can hear the blood vessels in your eyes popping. The castle was filled with books and records, classical, jazz, and folk. Our family has always had an enormous amount of musical enthusiasm and almost no talent whatsoever. My father, Wallace, had every book William Carlos Williams ever wrote and spent his days writing books and articles in his study. My mother was more active in liberal politics than my father, named me after her twin sister, and sent us to school 20 years ago with gourmet sandwiches on whole grain breads, sandwiches that we traded whenever possible for a slice of bologna on Wonder Bread. She graduated from law school when I was 17, a year before she and my father got divorced, and set up a small law firm in Honolulu. One of the reasons we get along now is that we don't see each other very often, maybe once a year. My father and Randy began sharing a house in Clement 4 years ago, and 6 months ago they both moved in with Dad's girlfriend. Sarah's house is a mile away from the cabin my grandparents bought 30 years ago and in which I have been living for a year. All of our relatives live on the other side of the mountain, an hour away, and except for our closest family friends, most of the people I am close to live in Clement. Most of my friends are motley, antisocial, deranged, semi-alcoholic, and black-humored, each one stranger than the last. One of Wallace's 2 best friends, our Uncle Colin, lives 5 miles away, on the other side of the lagoon from Clement. The dictionary defines lagoon as any small pond-like body of water, especially one communicating with a larger body of water, a definition I like quite a bit. Both towns are on the Pacific Ocean, and Colin's letters, which arrive almost every day, sometimes take 5 days to get here.